Hello students, welcome to today's class. Today we are going to start with using formula on text. So in the last class we have seen that how to use a compound formula in Excel, isn't it? So how to use a compound formula? Compound formula means just to use a formula. That formula contains multiple operators, different operators. That is known as compound formula. Then using a formula on text. Okay, so here formula means applying a formula means in that formula we may use different operators such as addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, isn't it? But in the case of a text, we cannot perform every operations. Only one operation is possible, which is addition. Okay, for example, if you have to join your name, okay, all of you have two names, first name and last name, isn't it? So if you want to join that first name and last name together, you have one option, which is concatenation. That operation is known as concatenation, that we will perform using the operator ampersand symbol. So ampersand symbol is used as the operator for performing concatenation. For example, uh, Ajay Devgan, isn't it? Ajay Devgan is a name. Ajay is the first name, Devgan is the second name, isn't it? So if we want to join that two names together, we need to perform concatenation. I will just show you. Uh, here it is showing an example. Keeps India. Okay, keeps is in the cell A1. India is in the cell B1. Okay, so here we are going to use the same. See, keeps is in the cell A1 and B1 contains the value India. Okay, so if we want to join that two strings or two text values, what is mean by string? String means text value, that only. Here keeps is a string, India is another string. We are going to make it as a single string. So first step is to insert the equal to symbol, then point or select the cell A1 where keeps is placed, isn't it? So I selected the cell A1, you can see the mark Q. Then insert the operator, which is the operator, the ampersand symbol, then that is used. Then select the next cell, which is B1. Okay, so you can see another mark Q. Then okay, after selecting the cell B1, in the formula bar the formula is visible, which is equal to A1 ampersand B1. So what is the next step? Just press the enter key. So now the two strings are joined or concatenated. So this operation is known as concatenation. I hope you could understand. It's very simple, isn't it? So next is cell range. So cell range means it's a group of contiguous cells. What do you mean by contiguous? Contiguous means sharing a common border. That is known as contiguous. So see, if I am, suppose if I am selecting, see, okay, there is a mouse problem. Okay, now see, all these cells are sharing a common border. So we can say it's a cell range. What is a cell range? C2 till G7, that is the cell range here. Okay, so we can use in a formula. So whenever we use in a formula, you can understand it clearly. So in this example, here one example is showing, for example, C1 full colon C10, that indicates a range start from C1 till C10. Let's see which is that range. See, C1 full colon C10, that was the range, isn't it? So this much of cells represents C1 full colon C10. If D1, see, suppose D1 full colon D20, that represents this much number of cells. Okay, then let's apply this cell range in a particular formula. Suppose we have these values. I think we already have that values. Okay, so here you can see the values. Already we have seen how to use the function, isn't it? So here what we need, we need the sum of the number of units sold in the cell B8. So what we need to perform first, we need to insert the equal to symbol first. that is inserted. Then type the function name. Then insert the parenthesis. Then we can use here cell range. What is a cell range? Starting from C2 till C7. So what is the first step? Select the cell C2, then press the left mouse button and hold, then drag till B7. Okay, it's showing unit solved because earlier we applied a name, isn't it? So that's why it is showing unit solved. So we can delete that first. So in order to find the sum of units solved, the first step is insert the equal to symbol, then type the function name, then insert the parenthesis, then select the first cell which is B2, then starting from B2 till B7, press the cell, select the cell B2, then press the left mouse button and hold, then drag till cell B7. Okay, so you can see here with the sum function, the arguments are B2 full colon B7. So this B2 full colon B7 is known as the cell range, which share a which is a contiguous cells, which means it shares a common border. Then after simply clicking on the enter key, that result you can see. Okay, so we are using here a cell range. Okay, then we are going to see how to name a range. So we can name a range. So here now we used the inbuilt function which is sum. We can delete that. Then we can give a name to this cell range. How to give name to this cell range? So first of all, select the number of cells that you want to name as a range of cells. Then go to the formulas tab. By default, home tab is selected. Click on the formulas tab. Then under the defined names group, there is one tab, define name. Click on the define name tab. So a new dialog box will come. In that new dialog box, you can give a name. So here I am going to, you can give any name. Here I am going to give unit solved. Okay, then you can see a field which is scope. So this scope means here you can see sheet 1, sheet 3, sheet 4, sheet 5, sheet 2. How many sheets are there? Total 5 sheets. If you want to specify uh, that this name unit solved only available in, if you want to make it available only in sheet 1, if you want to make this unit solved available in only sheet 1, you can choose sheet 1. If you want to make this available in all the worksheets or in all the workbook or in the entire workbook, what you can do, you can choose workbook and you can click OK. So here I am choosing workbook because I want this name unit solved in the entire workbook. So I chosen the option workbook, then click OK. So what is the advantage? So next time, if you when you want to find the sum of these values, you don't need to select a group of cells, or you don't need to type cell range. What you want, what you can type, you can just simply type the name, isn't it? So I am going to find the sum using the defined name group. Okay, then insert sum, then insert the parenthesis, go to the formulas tab, then under the defined names group, click on the using formula. Then you can see the name you assign. So from a certain list, from a list, a particular item you can select. Here I am selecting the already assigned name, which is unit solved. Okay, I chosen. Then close the parenthesis. Then click enter. So we got the result in the cell B8. Okay, so this is how we can use a named range. Then next topic is cell reference and its types. So students, cell reference simply means the cell address that we use in a formula. That is a cell reference. For example, see, in this case, earlier we were using the function. Okay, in that function we have used a cell range which is B1 full colon B7. Actually that B1, sorry, B2 full colon B7, that B2 we are referring in the cell B8, isn't it? Suppose here I want to find, let it be let it be D15. Okay, in the cell D15, I want the sum of the values given from B2 till B7. So what is the step? Just type equal, just insert equal to symbol, then point B2, then insert the additions operator, then point B3, then again operator. Similarly, I am going to select all the cells, isn't it? Now I selected all the cells. If you notice, you can understand in the cell D15, we have the reference of many cells, which are the B2, B3, B4, B5, B6, and B7. So if you notice, you can understand uh, in B2, B3, B4 till B7, B is common. So what do you mean by this B? B is the name of the column, or B specifies the column, isn't it? And only changing the row number. Okay, if you notice, the first one is B2, the second one is B3, B4, B5, like that. In the second position, whatever we have, that thing only changing. That is known as row number. Okay, so this is how referring a cell address in another cell is known as cell reference. There are different cell references like relative, absolute, circular. We are going to see each one now only. Okay, so I hope you could understand what is cell reference. See students, here instead of this unit sol, I am going to simply use a formula. Okay, so what is the formula? B1 plus B2 plus B3 plus B4 again plus B6 again plus B7. So this is the formula. If I click on the enter key, I am getting the result, the right result. And if you look at the formula bar, you can also see the formula. Okay. So what I want to do here, see, I just copied that formula, means I just copied that cell in the next to the next cell. So what happened here? The sum of C1, the sum of the values in C1 till C7 is visible in the cell C8. Okay, once again I show you. See, now the cell B8 is selected. What I want to perform, I want to find the sum of all these values given in the column C. See, in the cell C2 200, C3 100, C4 300, C5 250, C6 175, C7 275. So I also need to find the sum of all these values. But I don't want here, I don't want to use the formula directly, which means I don't need to type, or I don't need to insert the equal to symbol. I don't need to select or point each cells one by one. Instead, what I can do, I can just drag this cell to the next, or to the C8, isn't it? So what happens? Okay, that is not the proper way. See, when you drag the mouse pointer, here you can see a plus symbol. So you have to use that plus symbol. Otherwise, simply the value 890 will be copied. So at this corner, at the bottom right corner, you will have a plus symbol. When it comes, you can just double click, or you can just double click on it and drag towards, or drag to the next cell where you want the sum. Okay, then let's check the formula C. We haven't typed any formula, but automatically the formula is visible here, isn't it? So that is meant by relative reference. So this formula is coming here relative to the formula which we used earlier. Okay, so this is known as relative reference. Suppose we have some more values here like 8, then 9, then 6, then 5, then 3, then 2. I also need to find out. Okay, I also need to find out the sum of all these values. But in this situation, I don't need to use the formula, which means like here till like in the cell B and sorry, not the cell B, the column B and column C, column D has the same set of values, which means D2 has the value, D3 has a value, B4 has a value, till B7 we have values. So the formula will be almost the same, only difference will be in the cell address. Okay, so we are going to use the formula which we used here. So how can we use? Just just uh, just place the mouse pointer at the bottom right corner. So there you can see a plus symbol. When it comes, just double click and drag towards to the next cell where you want the sum. So if you click on this cell D8, you can see the formula. So this is known as relative reference. Okay. Students, next topic we are going to discuss is absolute reference. So absolute reference means in relative reference we are changing the cell addresses depend on the formula that we need to use, which means whenever we copied, whenever we copied formula from here, see here the formula you can see B2, B3, B4, B5, but in cell C8 the formula will be C2, C3, C4, isn't it? But which means here the cell reference is changing. But when you don't want to change cell reference, which means see, in order to find the incentive amount, let's delete this. This is we only created. So actually incentive amount means how many units sold. 10 percentage of that unit sold will get us the incentive amount, which means how can we get the incentive amount? 10 percentage of the 1000, that means 100 will be incentive amount in the month of January. In the month of February, 200 will be, 200 is the 10 percentage of 2000, isn't it? So here here what will be the formula, which means for sorry 10 percentage of the 1500. Similarly, how can we find out 10 percentage? The value of B2 multiplied by 10%, then value of B3 multiplied by 10%, value of B4 multiplied by 10%, which means in every formula we are multiplying with the 10%. So that is common, isn't it? So whenever we are copying one formula from another formula, see let's try a formula here. So I will show you equal to, the first step is inserting equal to symbol, then select the cell, then what is the value? 10 percentage, isn't it? So multiplied by b2, 10 percentage. So I will, if I am clicking on the enter key, I will get the result. So that is 100. But when I copy this formula to the next cell, what will happen? See, I am getting 0. Why I am getting 0? Let's check. See, E18, here will be E19 and E20. See, this is E17, E18, E19, E20. So in these cells there are no values, isn't it? That's why, see, when we copy the formula from the next cells, the formulas are also changing, but there are no values. But what we need to do, we do not want to change the cell. Actually that is in E17. So in every formula E17 should be there, should not change, which means when I click on this formula, instead of E17 there should be instead of E18 there should be E17. So what can we do here? We can do one thing. Instead of uh, changing this row, see, if you notice, you can see, okay, sorry, see, if you notice, you can see only row number is changing. See, 21, 22, you have to notice here, isn't it? So only, see, row number is changing, column, that is E is stable there, E is not changing. So what we need to do, where we want to make it as stable, we have to add there an sorry, dollar sign. Okay, so now 17 will not change, 17 will be permanent. Okay, so now we can use the, now we can copy the formula to the continuously. See, now you got the answer. 100 is the 10 percentage of 1000, 200 is the 10 percentage of 2000, 150 is the 10 percentage of 1500, then again 200, 130, 130 is the 10 percentage of 1300, then like that we will get the result here 890. So we don't need this value. Okay, so similarly we can this is known as the, then now we can check the formula. See here b2 multiplied by e17, here b3 multiplied by e17, so e17 is not changing, so that is known as absolute reference. So depend on the cell, we are not changing the cell address of the cell. So I hope you could understand what is absolute reference. Okay, then next topic, that is mixed reference. So from the name we can understand mixed reference means it's a combination of relative and absolute reference. Okay, so then we can find out the actual expenses. Okay, so how can we get the actual expenses? The formula to find the actual expenses is C2 minus E12. So that means the charity amount we need to, okay, so here by mistake I charity amount. Okay, so what is the charity amount? 100. So from the actual expenses we need to subtract. Here you can see from the actual expenses we need to subtract 100. That will be the actual expenses. So expenses we already find out here. We already got the okay, expenses. Yes, expenses already we find out the expenses. From the expenses we need to subtract charity amount. That will be the actual expenses. So what is the formula? We can use the formula first, equal to symbol, then select the cell, then minus 100. 100 is in the cell charity amount. Then we can just click on enter key. See, so 200 minus 100 is 100. So this answer is right, isn't it? So we can try to copy the formulas. See, so shall we check the answer is right or not? See, expenses is 100. 100 minus the charity amount. What is the charity amount? That is also 100. So 100 minus 100, 0 should come here, isn't it? But instead of 0, what we got? 100. So this answer is wrong. Then let's check the next one. 300 minus 100, that should be 200. But here we got 300. So this is also wrong. Similarly, all these are wrong. Why it is wrong? Because see, something is happening here. See here, C3 minus E19, then C4 minus E20. Where is E20? There is no value in E20. That's why if you notice, you can understand these values and these values are same because there are no values in the coming cells. See, there is no value in, E19. This is E19, and see, E20, C4 will be E20 will be subtracted from C4. There is no value in C20 or C21, C22, isn't it? So we need to understand what we need to do. We do not change the cell address, which means E2, isn't it? So what we can do, we can add here which symbol? Dollar sign. So that row number will not change. Row number will be same, which will be E18. So somewhere I have changed. Okay, so the actual expenses, we can just delete this all are wrong except the first one, isn't it? So we can use formula equal to expenses minus this E18. Then the column we can add in front of column. Column will not change anyhow. Then also we can add then row number. Okay, so both should not change. Okay, so we can you can just click on enter key. What will happen? Then we can drag the mouse pointer. Okay, so now you can check it's right or not. Now we are getting the correct output, isn't it? So here what we are using here C2, C2 in the next cell becomes C3, C4. You can notice here, isn't it? What is happening here in the formula bar you have to notice that only. Okay, see here, the formula is C3, and here the formula is C4, C4 minus, here C5 minus, C6 minus. See, you can see that C5, C6, C7, that combination is changing. That cell reference is changing in the each cell. But if you notice, see, E18 is stable. E18 is not changing. That is permanent in every cell. So that is known as mixed reference. So you can understand here C6 is an example of relative, and $E $18 is an example of absolute reference. So together it is known as the example of mixed reference. Okay, I hope you could understand. Then next topic we are going to learn circular reference. So circular reference simply means referring the value of a cell address directly or indirectly, its own cell address, referring the value of the same cell address directly or indirectly. That means here, suppose here we have this, here we have the value, suppose 10. Here we have the value 10. Okay, so in the next cell, in the cell D5, I'm going to type D D5 plus D5 plus C5. Okay, so what is happening in the same cell? I am selecting cell D. Now the selected cell is D5. Then D5 plus C5 is going to find out. Then I am going to click on the enter key. Let's see what will happen. See, one error is coming. We can check what is that error. See, there are one or more circular references where a formula refers to its own. There are one or more circular references where a formula refers to its own cell either directly or indirectly. See, directly or indirectly, we are trying to refer the same cell address. So that will make error. So here it is written, this might cause them to calculate incorrectly. Okay, so that is not possible. So that is known as circular reference, which means referring a cell by its own value or its own, referring a cell by its own, okay, its own cell address directly or indirectly. That is known as cell reference. Okay, here you can see the example. In the cell A1 we have the value 25, then A1 plus A2 into 3. So that value we are trying to multiply A2 into 3 in the cell A2 only. So that will not work, isn't it? That is known as a circular reference. Then cell reference of another worksheet. So which means what is the cell reference of another worksheet? We have seen here several worksheet, sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 4. See, in sheet 1 what we have several values. So suppose here, here we can refer a value from sheet 3. Okay, suppose here we have a value 50. In this, suppose let it be 50 percentage. Okay, so we need to find out 50 percentage of 50 percentage of what we can find out 50 percentage of the actual expenses here in this cell. So 50 percentage. So 50 percentage of actual expenses we need to find in these columns. So how can we find out? So we can, what we can do, 50 percentage into actual expenses, that will be the formula, isn't it? The formula will be insert equal to symbol, then select the cell F2, then multiplied by 50 percentage. But where is the 50 percentage? 50 percentage is in the next sheet, which is in this cell, isn't it? So how can we use that? See, here you can see Already the formula is given, isn't it? So let it be in any other cell. So you don't need to confuse. See, from this, otherwise there will show I13. Okay. Now it is that now the cell address is H13, isn't it? H13. You can understand it clearly. So go to sheet one. Then we are going to find out 50 percentage of the actual expenses. So select the cell A2, then multiplied by the 50 percentage in the next sheet. So click on, see here already in the formula bar, the formula is visible without the cell reference. So sheet 3 exclamation mark followed by cell reference. What is the cell reference? This cell we have to select. See H13. This is the formula which represents referring one item from the another sheet. Okay. Now we got the formula. See, now we got the correct output. E2 multiplied by sheet 3 exclamation mark H13, which means in this sheet 1 we are referring the cell H13 in the sheet 3. In the sheet 1 we are referring a cell in the sheet 3. Okay, we have a cell in sheet 3 with the value 50 percentage that we are referring in the sheet 1 using this formula. Then what we can do? We can drag the mouse pointer from we can drag the, let's see what will happen, whether it will use uh, relative or relative reference or absolute reference. Let's check. So what happened here? We are using sheet 3 H13, but here what is happening? H14. We don't need to use H14 or H13, isn't it? H14 or H15, we have to use H13. So we have to make some difference here, a slight change. What is the change? What symbol we have to add here? We have to add here dollar sign before the row number and column number. Okay, you can just enter key. Now you can see the formula we are using here the absolute reference. Now we can copy paste. Okay, so 50 is the 50 percentage of 100, 0 is the 50 percentage of 0, 100 is the 50 percentage of 200, then 75, 37.5, 87.5. Understood? This is how we can refer a cell address in another cell address in another worksheet. Okay. The next one is using sheet reference. That only we have seen here. Okay. Then next we are going to check some errors in Excel. So here you can see the first error. Continuously hash symbol is presenting on a cell. What it means? That means there is no sufficient space. This error occurs if the column is not having enough space to accommodate the value we are entering. Okay. Then the next error is name, hash symbol followed by name, then question mark. This occurs due to when we use an incorrect formula. Then the next error, hash value error. So this one occurs when when a formula contains unknown value or let's say invalid value. Here you can see 4, 5, then high. In the cell 4, we are trying to add all these values. Okay, like A1 plus A2 plus A3. It will make error because value of A3 is a string, isn't it? Then division by 0 error. What is happening? Any number divided by 0 is not defined. So division by 0 error will be occurred when we try to divide a number by 0. Okay. Then reference error. This error occurs when a formula refers to a cell which is not existing. Understood? Suppose see in this example already we are using a formula in this cell C4, but what happened? Suppose unexpectedly we deleted a cell. So what will happen? This reference error will occur. Then students, we are going to learn some functions. Already we know that functions means predefined formula in Excel to perform complex calculations is known as functions. Okay, in functions there may have several arguments, like we have seen sum function. Sum function has at least two arguments, like for example c1 full colon c10, that is an argument. Okay, then let's see some rules to enter a function. These are the rules, as you can see here. The first the first step, as we use for a formula, here also we need to insert an equal to symbol in order to enter a function, or in order to use a function. And the function name must be a valid Excel name, like sum or average. You cannot use add or avg, something like that. So sum, average, like that, you have to use a valid Excel name. Then function name must be followed by an opening and closing parenthesis. Whenever we have used the sum, we have seen that we need to use parenthesis. Okay, then after opening the parenthesis, we have to use the arguments like a1 full colon a3. So this argument should be in parenthesis, in opening parenthesis and closing parenthesis. That is the rules to use a function. Then we have the function today. Today will display current date or today's date, and today function will display current date in the selected cell. Okay, so I hope you could understand what is today. So let's see some functions. See, the first function is sum. Already it is familiar for you. This will find out the sum of a given range of values. Then average. Average will find out the average of a given range of values. Odd. Odd will return the rounded up value to the nearest integer, nearest odd integer. Then int will rounds up to a nearest integer. That can be odd or even, doesn't matter. It will round the value to the nearest integer. Then product will multiply the values in a certain range of cells. Okay, then round, suppose we have a decimal number 1.2222. Okay, then we can specify that number comma number of digit, isn't it? So 1 point, so that number comma suppose 2 or 3 as the num digit, will round it to how many. For example, let me show you. Round 1.2223 comma, I'm using 2. So here you can see 1.2223 comma 2. So what is this 2 means? This 2 means after the decimal part there should be two numbers, isn't it? See, what is the number of digits after the decimal part? Only 2. That 2 means this 2. Okay, so if I change this value to suppose let it be 3. Okay, see how many are there? 1.2222. So this is how we can use the round function. Then exp number will find a number raised to the power. Okay, then sqrt will return the square root. Power, it will just return that number raised to the power. Then mod will return the uh, reminder reminder of number divided by divisor. Suppose let me show you. Mod, so first step is inserting the equal to symbol, then mod, then open parenthesis, then 23 comma divisor, let it be 3. Okay, so what will be the reminder? Let's check. 23 divided by 3 will be 2, I think. So this will return 2. Okay, here you can see 2 is returned. So that is the function of the function mod. So similarly there are next topic is function library. Similarly, there are several functions in function library. Let's see how to insert a function. So students, here we are going to insert a function. Okay. So okay, in this cell D20 we can insert a function. So how to insert a function? We have to click on formulas tab. Then there will be insert function. Okay, click on the insert function, and if a dialog box is coming, in this dialog box you can choose the function that you want to insert. Let it be average, sum, if, hyperlink, or anything. So here I am choosing sum. So here you can see sum is automatically uh, automatically the sum is already visible in the cell, but we need to enter the argument. Okay, so here you can see if you want to find out the sum from D2 to D19. Okay, you can do this, but D19 we don't need to find out till D19. According to whatever you need, see, from D2 till D7 you want to find out. Okay, so here I can choose D7. So D2 to D7 will be the argument. So 890 will be the answer. This is how we can insert any function uh, in any cell. Okay, students, next we are going to manage the worksheet. Okay, so managing worksheet means renaming or delete a worksheet. So how can we do that? Which means if you want to delete this worksheet, just select it, then right click, then delete. So sheet 4 will be deleted. If you want to rename sheet 5, click on rename, then I can write here my sheet. Okay, and then if you want to change the tab color, see, like that you can change the tab color. Okay, so in order to find it out easily, so I hope you could understand this. So our class is over. I will upload answers of this chapter today in WhatsApp group as well as STS KLD app. You can get it. Okay, students, then thank you.